Hey, what's going on YouTube? I got a request to look at AUY, a mining stock from ADIZY TMW. So thanks for the nice words, and let's take a look at AUY, Yamaha Gold. I remember trading this up in here, and look what happens. It gets pummeled. It's a huge double top. And whenever something like that happens, this is a monthly chart, so you can see on the grand scheme of things, whenever a double top on a huge chart or a long-term chart, that's a let's call it 2007 to 2012, so a 5-year double top. So whenever something like that happens, you can guarantee yourself it's gonna go down for quite a while. And since 2012, so a 3-year downturn sounds appropriate. What I'm going to do is put some moving averages and to find the trend and to see where the bottom is going to come up, and then I'm also going to check for divergence. So I'll be right back. So what I've done is put a 34 simple moving average. I also put a moving average of 13 and 8. 34, 13, and 8 are all Fibonacci numbers. I love Fibonacci. Did a lot of trading with those numbers and the deviation of the golden ratio. So what I used was Tim Tilson's T3s, was a exponential smooth moving average, and I put the deviation of a golden ratio on there, and quite magical, that Fibonacci. Anyways, so the MACD I put down here, also with Fibonacci numbers, 8, 13, and 34. And on the monthly, there's not much of a divergence. It's kind of just, I would call this accumulation down in here. Accumulation. But everything's below the trends. You can use these moving averages as your support and resistance lines. I like to pay attention for bottoms when the 8 crosses over the 13, and then I also like to watch the 8 cross the 34, and that's when the trend is actually changing on the monthly. Now we can use this and just go back to the weekly, and here's where you can find the divergence. You can see the price going down, but you can see the divergence going up, and that's what you call divergence. Some would say in this situation you can see a price change. So far everything is below the trend. This is my major trend line, the 34, and it looks like the 8 and 13 are trying to cross. Price is trying to get above, but I wouldn't. You see where the 34 is where the resistance is. So that's why I like to use this 34 on all time frames. So for long term, it looks like it's being accumulated, and I wouldn't mind buying AUY at $2 and accumulate it myself. But like I said, I don't. I may one day buy back in, but I just think everything's just so overvalued. Now, mining stocks are producers. Producers are assets, physical assets, and I would prefer to buy gold and silver mining stocks over, let's say Apple or Google, just because of the physical assets part. And they actually produce It's a shame that they're being knocked down so much, but right now I think it's just being accumulated, and I wouldn't do anything until it crossed over the major trend. See, what's going to happen is if it's bullish and it is going to be allowed to run, it's going to pop this previous high. It's going to go above this trend line, make a consolidation phase, and then break up. But you got a ways to go, and you can see that the histogram here is above 0, but the averages are still below 0. So you got a ways to go. If your plan is to accumulate, by all means, accumulate your hearts out. And looks like the first, if it ever breaks out, the first move would go up to 450 or so. It would take 50% of this long candle and use that as my first resistance. And also but the high, maybe an exhaustion move. If it ever breaks out, an exhaustion move right to the 50% of this long candle. And that's where my measured move would be. But these things take time. If you are long term, it looks like it's being accumulated. And one thing I cannot use on this free service is the on balance volume, where I would use a 21 moving average as it crosses over 0 into positive territory. I would use that as a benchmark as well. OBV is very important in my opinion. So these are, like I said, all my opinions, and I bet you all the mining stocks, not just Yamaha gold, is being accumulated at the moment. Sure would be nice to catch this at $2 when I remember I was trading it up in the, wondering if it's going to break out of the highs of 20 plus. I thought it was going to break out. See, it broke above the previous high, but all it did is whipsaw right over 20, back below, and I was out. So there you have it. I hope that helps you. As you can see on the monthly chart, it is not changing trend, I would say, for the next few months at least. But it looks like it's being accumulated. And for long-term reasons, if you just wanted to buy a couple hundred shares every month until sooner or later it breaks out, by all means, that's what I used to do. So that's it. Let me know what you think, and good luck.